This is the story of Clayton Daniel Hughes, whose choices turned an ordinary day on the road into a nightmare for 5 people. What began as road rage on Interstate 70 near Dayton, Ohio, ultimately led to a deadly crash, and Hughes's actions behind the wheel would have irreversible consequences.
Yeah, I was on the phone with 911. He road raged me on 70.
Okay.
Kept hitting me from behind.
Okay.
And I was following.
He hit you from behind?
Oh yeah, I was on the phone with dispatch.
Okay.
And when this happened, yeah, he just started pounding me from behind on 70, so I followed him.
Okay. Well, I mean, road rage technically, or he just come up and hit you, and then he kept hitting you and you're hitting him?
He kept hitting me and hitting me.
So he hit you initially, and then he kept hitting you.
Then he kept hitting me. He hit me maybe 5 times. He was trying to push me off the road. I pulled over. I was trying to let him go past. You know, the first time he just got up on me.
Okay.
And I was thinking, man,
because the road rage would be like where you're hitting him, and you guys are exchanging.
No. There was no back and forth, man. I'm just driving. This dude just came up behind me and just started slamming me. I tried to get out. I'm just thinking,
do you have your license on you real quick?
This guy's leaving. You want a picture? You want to keep the guy that's going to Grandview? It's the driver number 1, I believe.
Yeah, I'll take that.
How do I get his information? I mean,
we'll get you all the information.
Yeah.
Just, I need your license. I'm going to get you started on a statement. That's fine.
Like I say, I was on the phone with 911 when it happened.
1685 to 1401.
Good.
Are we going to need it? Do we need ODOT to also start this way for traffic control?
You guys can deal with traffic control, correct?
We got this. Yep.
Where is he going?
I'll find out, but I'm at one of my guys go with me because I think he's acting the goof.
He is.
And he's OVI.
He's a little combative.
Yep.
Okay. On a statement. He was the first road rage, quote unquote. This guy came up to the back of him and smacked him 5 times. Okay. And then he followed him. And
Where did this start at?
I'm getting that now. I think it started at 30 right around
Right.
there. So, like I said, I just got him working on that, because I'm getting him out. Push the pictures and getting him out now. So, I was going to grab field sketch, photos, with that. We're going to need somebody to get him warm.
Yeah, Rachel,
CFO, and then we'll get him down there.
do me a favor. I'll talk to this guy. Jump in your car, type up a quick Word document of that. What you see out at the scene. Was this guy already gone when you got here?
No, this guy's still here. I did very minimal comments. I didn't even get close enough. I just seen him in there. Medics were on top of him getting him.
Okay. Sir, how are you?
Well, man, how are you?
So he's definitely intoxicated. Okay. Yeah, just not mistake that hit up his head. Yeah, he's acting a goof.
Okay. So yeah, just shoot Rachel an email real quick. She's going to run down to the valley. She just needs an affidavit real quick, and then I can just tell her the police in if she smells any alcohol down there as well. We'll at least get the affidavit done for the city. Grandview? That's where he's going?
Yep.
Grandview or?
They told me Grandview. I just asked. I just asked. He said Grandview.
Okay.
Yeah.
So where did this start at?
Just east of 48 on 70.
So you're heading eastbound. So you're coming from westbound, heading eastbound.
Correct.
And that's where it kind of started
That's
around the
where he
48
started
area?
hitting me from behind.
Okay. And do you know about what time this happened? Like,
Yeah, I can tell you exactly. That's why I called 911.
the first contact you had with him.
I called 911 at 2:18, so it had to be maybe 2:10, 2:0, somewhere in that. Because he hit me 4 or 5 times. I waited for him to get around me. Then when he got off on 70, so it probably wasn't that long. So probably 5 minutes, if that.
So between 2:18 and I would say about 2:10 and 2:18?
Yeah, something like that.
Okay. And you said eastbound from, was this before 48? The exit?
No,
to
I got
48?
I got on 70 from Route 48 in between there and here, so
Gotcha.
whatever that 10 or 12 mile.
Well, yeah, it's about 2 miles.
Oh yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, about 2 miles.
Like the guy just started. I mean, he just came up behind me and just started hitting me from behind. Like,
Okay.
I don't know.
All right. I'll be right back with you to finish that stuff, and I'll get that. Okay.
Two outside, one in the passenger seat, one in the back middle row of seats.
So 2 outside, 2 in the
Yeah, we had to move them to get to the other guy, unfortunately.
So just 4 right now, correct?
4.
From what I understand, we had a call of this one driving recklessly on 75, possibly involved in a minor crash.
See that guy over there in that truck? He followed him.
Okay.
Yep.
And then he followed him to where he crashed. Okay.
And just to let you know, we're pulling video footage.
Okay.
So we'll have that as well.
Okay.
More in here? Yes. And that's all we're expecting, or is there?
Yeah, there's one was transported to the valley. The survivor of this one, who was in this back corner,
Okay, so
he
there
was right
five.
here.
Okay, so there's 5 in here.
Yeah, 5 in here, 1 in the other car. He's on his way to
Grandview.
And as I told the other gentleman, there's a bottle of Maker's Mark on the floor inside his car, and I had a pretty strong smell.
You
So
did?
my friend said it first.
This guy's injuries here, the living, is he?
He's beat up pretty good. I don't think it'd be fatal, but he's pretty bad shape.
Okay, all right.
At least not at the moment.
Okay, all right. Thank you, sir.
But like I said, the front seat of the floor up here in this white one.
All right.
You called the coroner's office?
Not yet.
You got 4 confirmed?
4 confirmed. Rachel's going to go down to Grandview. Prudence is going to type up a quick affidavit for what he saw here.
Okay.
She's going to go down there. She'll type up the warrant for the blood draw.
How bad is he?
Rachel's heading to Grandview. Prudence just sent her an affidavit for this up here. We're getting statements from all the firefighters on the odor.
And then he also cut the airbags off. He could smell some alcohol. It said he could smell Altoids, so...
JJ is coming out. Murray asked, I might send Murray down to the hospital with Rachel if we need him here.
Yeah, probably not here. Because once he gets clear, we're going to have to transport him.
Yeah.
So,
But yeah, I just need Prudence is getting some information for Linda on if he's, I don't think he has any, like, she's asking if he's on parole, if he just violate him. But I don't think he is.
I don't know.
So, but I was going to call up to the hub and tell them we need to hold someone over so we can get the blood up there and rush it.
Okay. Did the driver of this Volvo, did he show any signs of impairment?
He was slow, but again, and I made a note in there, his answering his speech things were slow, but he was not really slurring his words, and it was an accident. I can't say that he actually was, I can't say he was honestly slurring or anything else.
Did you smell any alcohol?
I got a whiff of it, yes. But he also had some kind of mints. There's Altoids all over the car.
Okay.
But there's the bottle that was laying there on that front floor. I could see that from where I was standing.
How would you describe it? The odor of alcohol?
The odor of alcohol.
Was it the odor of alcohol?
Yes.
Is it coming from his person?
Him person.
Okay.
Yep. I'll actually personally be curious to see how intoxicated, if he was indeed intoxicated. He seemed oblivious to me that, he knew there was an accident, but that's all he said. He just kind of stared out in space.
And you said the smell of Altoids?
Yeah, Altoids. Mint. And he's got like 3 or 4 cans of it in that back seat on the floor. Because when I opened the door, I saw those on the opposite side. Yeah, it's right on the opposite side. And he's got them here on the floor too. I see them now.
You just saw them or smelled them?
I did not. I smelled those originally.
Okay.
And some kind of mint. So I'm going to say it had to be those. But he's also got like 3 or 4 more tins in the back seat on the opposite side. And then as I described in there, he was leaning against that console, kind of, oblivious to what was going on. One of the airport officers was standing here when I walked up. She was the one that cut the airbag out and said,
direction coming through the light, and it was green.
So just a solid green for inbound traffic into the terminal.
Yep.
How close were you to? Were you ahead of it, or were you?
I was about where that guy in the yellow jacket is. That's where I was positioned
Right
on
in
the
front
road
of the blue
driving.
car?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's about where I was. And it felt like it happened in slow motion, but it definitely was not.
You said it was just a solid green
Yes.
for inbound traffic.
Yep, it sure was. The guy in the white vehicle was definitely speeding fast.
So it's 2 lanes up.
Yes, I'm on the right hand.
So you're in the right hand lane, and in the white SUV, he passed you
Very fast.
in which lane?
On the left, in the left
In
lane.
the left lane.
Yes. And the van was turning left and turned in front of him. Sure did not realize how fast he was going. But he did not even put on his brakes.
Okay.
The guy in the white vehicle didn't even put on his brakes. I'm speculating a little bit, but it almost seemed like the gray vehicle was hesitant, like didn't know what to do. Like kind of slowed down, but then kept going. It's kind of weird.
When the white vehicle passed you, would you be able to just estimate or give a guesstimate on how fast do you think he was
I would
traveling?
think he was probably still going 65.
Okay.
In my mind, it seemed like it could have been avoided if either driver had. I don't know. It just, I don't know. He was definitely going way too fast, though. I don't think he even put on his, well, I know he didn't. He didn't put on his brakes or anything. But it almost felt like the gray vehicle saw him coming and was already in the turn and just hesitated, didn't know what to do.
Did you make contact with anyone out of either vehicle?
No, I just pulled over immediately because I knew they would need help. I got out. I witnessed some people trying to help. The guy in the white vehicle did not seem right, but I know he just probably hit his head.
What do you mean by did not seem right?
He was kind of like almost laughing, but you could tell he was alive. A lot of people went to try to help the people in this vehicle, and they just didn't have pulses. They were probably instantly killed.
Okay. So you didn't talk to the driver, the white SUV?
I did not. I only observed.
Just observed. Okay.
Yeah, but he almost laughed. It was very weird. And he kept trying to get out, and the gentleman there was a police officer here that I believe probably works at the airport that was just not on duty.
Okay.
Like was just getting off of duty. And he immediately went over there, and the guy kept trying to get out of the vehicle, and he kept telling him not to. Okay. Just stay in the vehicle.
That was for the individual in the white SUV. He was
absolutely.
Okay.
And when he did T-bow him, it was very violent, but the gray car did speed and slammed into that pole. I mean, like spun and slammed into that pole.
Looks like this car had the green light. It came up, slid through the intersection. This guy's OBI. There's five people in this car. The driver.
Which way?
Looks like the van was going north. The other Volvo north. Yep. And then he was going east. And I believe what he did is ran the red light here. Came over here. He was back that way.
Is this part of the road rage?
No. Well, yes. That white car is. And then see that white truck over there? It's part of the road race. So this guy came up behind him, bumped him in the rear like 5 times, and then he followed him here. And as he was following him, he came through here, ran the red light.
While following the Volvo on Interstate 70, what did you observe? Like his driving, speed, was he?
He was going fast, and he was all over the road. He about lost it getting off on the exit ramp.
Okay. They say the exit ramp. Do you mean for this airport?
To get
access?
on to airport.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm sure there's marks down there.
And how would you describe all over the road?
He was just changing lanes and
Just not maintaining his lane? Was he using a turn signal and changing lanes?
But he was physical. He was driving the car. He wasn't out of, you know what I'm saying, out of control. Or
was he passing traffic, or was he just alone and just not maintaining his lane? Or
there wasn't a whole lot of other people. I don't think he passed anyone else. Which he was just aggressive driving, you know.
Was he in the right lane, left lane, or was he in both lanes?
When he was hitting me, I was in the right hand lane. My cruise control was set dead on the speed limit. He got up behind me really close a couple of times. Like I thought I might have cut him off or something when I got on the highway and just didn't see him, you know. And then all of a sudden he just starts boom, 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 from behind.
I guess what I mean when I was saying all over the road, after he passed you and you were observing his driving, and you said that he was going fast and all over the road. When you were following him, was he just not able to maintain his lane? Was he?
No, it was almost like he was changing lane. You know, driving the car. He wasn't drifting back and forth. You know, he clearly was steering the car where he wanted it to go. In my opinion.
But he was changing lanes, but there was no traffic around. Okay.
Right, I think the one was the driver.
No, there's still a guy in here.
No, then he was the passenger.
Oh.
He was the front right passenger.
Oh, okay, so they pulled the driver. Okay.
They pulled the driver out.
So we're still working on that.
on him.
Okay. I thought he got thrown over.
They pulled out one of the occupants here.
And then the driver was here.
Then the driver was here.
Okay.
So what I'm saying for the crash report, your front right passenger, your driver remained, so we know those for a fact. Your third row remained, so we know he was in the third row. It's just going to be these two, which I'm going to say probably.
In the middle?
That guy on that far side came over top of this guy.
Because he wasn't done. It makes sense.
Every driver thinks they're in control behind the wheel, but when someone's driving erratically, it's clear they're not in control of their actions, and their decisions can spiral into something far worse. In this case, a series of poor decisions and aggressive driving lead to a catastrophic outcome, an incident that started with reckless driving on the highway and escalated into a fatal accident. It starts innocuously enough. Hughes, in his white vehicle, begins tailgating another driver on Interstate 70 near Dayton, Ohio. The first incident appears to be a simple case of road rage, a driver getting frustrated with someone in front of him, making reckless moves to push his way through traffic. The victim, a man on the phone with 911, explains that Hughes didn't just tailgate him, he hit his car multiple times from behind. The victim, understandably concerned, pulled over to let Hughes pass. But Hughes didn't pass. Instead, he kept ramming the victim's car. At this point, the situation is still contained. It's a simple road rage incident, with minor damage to the cars. However, things escalate rapidly. Hughes continues his reckless behavior, and instead of just leaving the scene, he follows the victim off the highway. He's not just tailgating now, he's pursuing the driver. Here's the first turning point. Hughes, clearly agitated, doesn't stop at just following the victim. He drives erratically, swerving and speeding, apparently trying to intimidate the other driver. According to witnesses, Hughes didn't even slow down before running a red light at a busy intersection. The impact that follows is violent. Witnesses report seeing the gray minivan and the truck, both involved in the collision, completely destroyed. It's clear that Hughes didn't just rear-end the victim, he caused a catastrophic accident. The minivan slammed into a pole, leaving 4 people dead and another in critical condition. This is where the full scope of the damage becomes apparent. What started as a road rage incident has now escalated to multiple fatalities, and the police need to piece together what happened. Officers quickly respond to the scene, alongside firefighters and EMS, to assess the wreckage. The victim in the minivan is alive, but severely injured, and the situation becomes a race against time to determine what led to this horrific crash. The police have to understand the series of events that led up to the crash, and it doesn't take long before they realize that Hughes is not just a reckless driver, he's also likely intoxicated. As officers interview witnesses, they gather key details. Hughes had been driving erratically before the crash, showing signs of aggression and poor decision-making. One witness recalls that Hughes didn't even put on his brakes before the impact. But it's not just the driving that stands out. The officers discover bottles of alcohol in Hughes's truck and notice the strong smell of alcohol on him. Hughes, however, seems oblivious to the gravity of the situation. He's acting incoherently, laughing and showing no signs of understanding the seriousness of the crash. This brings us to the irony of the situation. While Hughes seems to think that his behavior is just another minor incident, the legal reality is that he's now involved in a much more serious crime, aggravated vehicular homicide. His decision to drive while intoxicated, combined with his reckless and aggressive driving, has caused the deaths of 4 people. But Hughes doesn't seem to realize the full consequences of his actions. He's still making excuses, trying to downplay the incident, and showing no remorse for the lives lost. The escalation chain here is clear. Hughes started by engaging in reckless driving. Then he escalated that by tailgating and hitting the victim repeatedly. Instead of stopping or calming down, he followed the victim, speeding and driving erratically. And finally, his reckless behavior led to a violent collision that resulted in multiple fatalities. Each decision Hughes made contributed to the situation becoming more dire, and with each escalation, the legal consequences grew more severe. The officers know this. They can see the progression of events, and they also understand that their investigation will need to focus on concrete evidence. They collect testimonies from witnesses, inspect the vehicles for alcohol, and plan to issue a warrant for a blood test to confirm Hughes's blood alcohol content. But even without the test, the evidence from the scene is clear. Hughes was intoxicated and responsible for the accident. At this point, the authorities are preparing to arrest Hughes, but here's where his own actions make things worse. Instead of cooperating, Hughes continues to act defensively, as if he can still talk his way out of the situation. He's clearly intoxicated, and his lack of awareness of the situation only makes things worse for him. The police finalize the details of the crash and prepare the charges. Hughes will face charges for aggravated vehicular homicide, aggravated vehicular assault, failure to stop after an accident, and operating a vehicle under the influence (OVI). He's not just looking at a minor citation anymore. His actions have caused 4 deaths, and the charges he's facing reflect that. Now, let's step back and look at the real lesson here. This situation didn't escalate because of a single moment of poor judgment. It escalated because of a series of decisions that Hughes made. Every time he decided to push his way through traffic, every time he decided to keep driving aggressively, he compounded the danger. And ultimately, those decisions led to a tragic outcome. What's important to understand is that the escalation here wasn't just about Hughes's driving. It was about his decision-making. Each poor decision built on the last, and each added layer of aggression and defiance made the outcome more inevitable. Had he simply backed off, stopped following the other driver, or turned himself in after the first crash, the situation might have been much different. But instead, Hughes's failure to realize the consequences of his actions led to an irreversible series of events. 4 people lost their lives, and Hughes now faces a lifetime of consequences for his reckless behavior. So, the takeaway here is simple. Every decision you make behind the wheel matters. What may seem like a small act of road rage or frustration can snowball into something much worse. Hughes's story is a tragic reminder of how quickly a bad decision can escalate, and how irreversible those consequences can be.